You're listening to Something Cheeky, a collection of podcasts where two sisters discuss TV, books, and movies with just enough irreverence and far too many pop culture references. Welcome to Something Cheeky, the Gentleman Bastards edition, where we discuss the Lies of Locke Lamora, book 1 of the series by Scott Lynch. I'm Nikki.
I'm Rosanna.
Well, I've read the entire series. Rosanna's only read up to what we're covering today, which is Chapter 6, Limitations. In this chapter, Locke is well and truly fucked by everyone except the prostitute he hires. Rosanna, what was your reaction to this chapter?
I had a lot of feelings about this chapter.
Oh, what were they?
Mostly sad.
Yeah.
So, we finally get a woman character
Yes.
who is strong and independent, and we murder her.
Yeah, she was only in, 2 chapters?
Yeah, I was so surprised that she got killed.
We saw her as a young girl, yeah, and then an adult, and then she was gone.
And I'm guessing we'll probably see her some more in the interludes, but I can't believe that they just killed her.
I know. It was really depressing.
And that Locke was, visibly upset about it. He got teary-eyed.
Yeah.
It was so sad. I felt really bad. And then also, of course, the whole, what the heck are these guys gonna do? I was feeling that very much, too. I mean, this is a mess.
Yeah, and I guess it's one of those be careful what you wish for situations. He was trying to find a way out of the marriage.
Well, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And last chapter, I was like, oh man, this is getting so messy. And I had no idea. It's so much worse now. I know. So much worse.
It really is.
Yeah.
Boy. What was your favorite quote this time?
The quote that I picked was Locke when he's sort of praying and thinks that nobody's there. This is before Falconer makes himself known. But he says, "Crooked Warden, if I'm pissing you off for some reason, you don't need to go to such elaborate lengths to chastise me." And it was so sad, but also really funny.
Yeah.
But he's like, why am I being punished? What have I done?
Yeah.
So I definitely felt for him.
Well, let's get into the action. So we start out at the floating grave, the Kappa's headquarters, where Locke has been summoned. He finds out Nazca's dead. And of all things, they put her in a wooden cask full of horse urine, which is really...
Why?
Really upsetting.
It is. And it was some small comfort that wasn't how she died, that she wasn't drowned. A very small comfort. But that's so gross.
And so disrespectful. Since we're recording the show and also Vikings at the same time, I just keep seeing so many parallels between things that happen in these two. Like in Vikings where the sons were killed with their heads cut off and their faces facing their bottoms, which is just really upsetting too.
Yeah.
This is just another kind of instance of just massive disrespect for the father, not any fault of the person that was murdered.
Right. Okay, so yeah, that's definitely a big thing because Nazca didn't do anything to the Grey King, as far as we know. So it was just to get back, or not even to get back at. There's nothing to get back at.
That we know of, yeah.
Right, he's just instigating all of this horribleness. So he takes it out on Nazca. I mean, it's no comfort to her that it's not about her. And then he puts her in this horse pee, which... It just feels like it was so over the top. Like overkill.
Yeah.
I mean, killing her was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Locke, like you said, he's visibly upset. And I'll say, while it is really sad, it was kind of nice to see him have an emotion besides anger, like in his childhood, or just confidence from all his cons.
Yes, and it also shows that he's actually not a sociopath.
Yeah.
Because he does have feelings.
He really does, yeah.
Yes, and that's good. I felt really bad for him.
Were you surprised that it turned out she was killed by the scorpion hawk?
I didn't know it didn't occur to me until they said so that she didn't drown. I just assumed that was what had happened, which I thought was horrible. But yeah, as soon as Locke, and I think that her being killed by the scorpion hawk was as much a message to Locke as it was to Barsavi.
That's a really good point.
Because Barsavi knows his daughter's dead, but Locke knows how.
Mm-hmm.
And he's already been threatened with that anyway. So I think, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that the Grey King knew that Locke was going to know how Nazca was killed.
It also gave Locke a really convenient way to bring up the Bondsmagi.
Yes.
The possibility of a Bondsmagi being involved to the Kappa.
Yeah.
Which, that still has not convinced the Kappa to not go to this meeting at the Echo Hall.
Oh my god, this meeting.
So tell me what you're thinking about the meeting.
I'm so stressed about the meeting.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a lot of anxiety about this meeting. Because Locke cannot be in two places at once.
Yeah, for all his talents, and even with the help of the Falconer, I'm pretty sure he can't make a hologram of Locke to stand somewhere else.
No, and these are two people that he does not want to mess with. I don't know what he's gonna, he's gonna have to tell Barsavi no, that he can't be there, but that's not gonna go over well.
Well, and it was interesting that he immediately said he would, just to keep the peace.
Right. Well, what was he going to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Let me check my schedule and get back to you.
Yeah, he needs a minute to think of something.
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do. It's just... because Barsavi's going to be mad that he doesn't come. Especially because Barsavi thinks that he is the highest level, of people that tell Locke what to do.
Right.
He thinks he's the top. So if he tells Locke to be somewhere and Locke isn't there, I don't know what he's going to think.
And even then, that makes me wonder if that would cause him to think that Locke might be the Grey King. I don't think he'd give Locke that much credit, but if you have one person that's missing...
And it almost seems like the Grey King's setting Locke up for that to happen. For Locke to take the fall for all the stuff that the Grey King's done.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really hard to say what the Grey King is doing and why he's doing it, because we don't know what his motivation is from before this point where he showed up.
Right.
Is it really just that he wants to rule Comore? Probably not. It seems like some of this stuff is kind of personal.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. As usual, I'm worried about Locke.
Well, Locke even gets to return for Nazca's funeral ritual, I guess, as a priest of Paralandro.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't realized he was a full priest at this point.
Yeah, their definition of priest is maybe not what I had in mind, being raised Catholic. This doesn't sound right.
We get to the Broken Tower rooms. Locke tells all the boys that Nazca's dead, which is really sad. The twins are really upset too.
Yeah.
They're starting to suspect the Grey King hasn't been honest about his scheme. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Oh, Galdo wants to leave right away.
Yes.
But as Locke says, which he's correct, they can't run as long as the Falconer is serving the Grey King, because he could just be followed.
Yeah.
And found again. And I love that the twins suggested playing the Grey King instead, so Locke could be Locke at the confrontation.
Right. Yeah.
But Locke says he's a better, false facer?
False, yeah.
False facer. Also less conspicuous, which I believe.
And I'm guessing it's the nose thing again.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's hard to hide that. You can make a bigger nose, but you can't make a smaller nose with makeup.
I wonder how... it seems like... I don't know. I guess maybe every time Locke goes to pay taxes and stuff, do one or both of the twins go with him?
Maybe.
I'm just wondering how many times Barsavi's seen them.
Well, he certainly recognizes them, and he knows about their card sharking, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though this is all really nerve-wracking, I really want to see this as a movie with Locke playing all these different parts.
Yeah.
That would be so much fun. I know you and I were talking about casting if this were a movie.
Yes.
I think we decided that Dylan O'Brien would make a really good Locke.
He would make a great Locke.
He would. He's just cheeky enough.
Yes, he's playful. But also he can play dark.
And intelligent.
Yes, definitely. I really like him a lot. I think he would do a good job.
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
Definitely.
I still don't know who I'd want to cast as Nazca, though.
Well, whoever it is wouldn't need that much time.
That's true.
I'm so sad.
Oh, yeah. I guess it could be just a little character actor or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody dark, I think.
Somebody else from a CW or MTV show, maybe?
Yeah, maybe so. They would have a lot of good ones to choose from.
They would.
Maybe this should just be like an MTV series, like Teen Wolf, but it's Lies of Locke Lamora. That could be really fun.
It could be.
I'm not a big MTV fan. I mean, I was when I was a teenager when it was still music videos.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it that's on there now I think is just terrible. However, I think Teen Wolf is a really well-made show. It's totally insane and crazy.
It's ridiculous, but it's fun to watch.
Yes, exactly. It's beyond crazy, but I'm on board for it. Yeah, I think it's a really well-made show. I like it a lot.
Some of it can get cheesy.
Yeah. I mean, it's called Teen Wolf, so...
That's true. And it is nothing... Listeners, if you have not seen this, but you've seen the movie with Michael J. Fox, it is not the same thing. Not even close.
Literally, the only thing the same about them is the title.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the similarities end.
Whenever they get the makeup on, when they go werewolf, it always makes me think of the way that they made the vampires look in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
It just looks unpleasant.
Yes.
I don't know how sometimes vampires look sexy, but they do not look sexy in Buffy.
Oh, no, not at all.
No.
Not at all. The best werewolf transition I think I've ever seen is from Hemlock Grove.
Oh, yeah.
Was that a Netflix show, or was it just...
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody hasn't seen that, and if you've got a good stomach for gore, it's a really weird but really good show. And their transformation, their werewolf, when he goes from human to wolf, is what you would, I think, expect an actual natural transition to be.
Right. I did like that.
Yes, it's not just like I grew a lot of hair and my teeth grew. No, it's like a human body completely changing into a wolf body and leaving parts.
It's like a snake shedding its skin, but more disgusting.
It seems, I mean, I don't know how realistic a werewolf is, but it seems like a realistic transformation to me.
Though I would only recommend 1 3/4 seasons watching of that. Because
that show is crazy.
Oh man. Once you get to the flying lizard man with incredibly horrible CGI,
okay,
you've basically hit what you need to see.
Okay, that is true. And I'm just going to keep on with this tangent just a smidge. Because when they did the terrible CGI at the end of that season, I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious right now? But then in the next season, I totally continued to watch it because I needed to know what happened. But the guy, this is so dumb. The man that plays the doctor that turns into a lizard man looks...
A spoiler.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Looks just like my OBGYN. So every time I go see him, I'm like, whoa.
Have you told him this?
No, gosh, no.
You really should.
I don't know if he's ever seen it. I know he's a Star Wars fan because his entire office is covered in Star Wars stuff. But I don't know if he's seen Hemlock Grove. But he looks just like him. And when I saw him on the show and then do his change into the lizard man, I was like, oh, that's creepy. Anyway, I'm done with that tangent, but I felt like I should tell you that.
Oh, that's great. Man. Okay, so where were we? Let's see. Oh, Bug wants to be a spotter at the confrontation. He's going to hide under the floor, it sounded like.
Yeah.
And there are waterfalls there, which might explain why it's called Echo Hall. Maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say, we haven't been to this place yet, right?
Right.
Okay, this is a new place, so we don't even know what it looks like.
At that point, we find out that Bug was at Shades Hill.
Yeah.
Which means that Locke must have had dealings with the thief maker.
Oh,
because
you think
Locke's
that's
the
where
one
he
who
got him?
Bug. Yeah.
Ah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
We get to the Falconer visit. Locke makes his toast, like you said. And the Falconer appears. He doesn't have Ventress, whom we hear is circling outside. And Locke immediately thinks of the windows. Thank God, because who knows if Ventress is just listening all the time. I'm still bothered by the fact that they have those windows open.
Yeah.
It was interesting that the Falconer said, or he corrected Locke, who called the Grey King his master, and he said he's his client.
Right.
So that may make us wonder about, why he's actually working for him. And you had mentioned before, maybe there's some sort of debt between the two of them. But we still don't know exactly why they're connected if it's more than just money.
Right. Which him saying client makes it seem like it's just money, but I still wonder about that. Yeah, I don't know. I keep going back and forth with Falconer because, he's really mean and really powerful. Really powerful.
Yeah.
But I also kind of like him.
Who did we decide should play a Falconer in the movie?
Tom
Jeremy Hiddleston.
Oh, yes, Tom Hiddleston, of course, yeah. Jeremy Irons we picked for Father Chains.
Right.
Yes, Tom Hiddleston would be a really good Falconer, I think. I mean, I would watch Tom Hiddleston in anything.
That's true.
But he just seems like snarky enough, like Loki-ish.
Right.
So, I don't know, I like him. It's not just that he's powerful, but I think he's also pretty smart. Mm-hmm. And I just totally go for smart characters.
Well, he does seem to underestimate Locke.
Well, I think Locke underestimates him, but he's not going to for long.
That's true.
I think maybe it almost reminds me of like when two boxers are in the ring before they actually start boxing. This sort of like bounce around, like eyeing each other, trying to size each other up.
Right. That just makes me think of when they have the MMA bouts and they have the night before photo op with the two of them standing really close, just staring at each other intently.
Like nose to nose.
Mm-hmm. And always looks like they're gonna kiss.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of videos where one of them has kissed the other one, and it was hilarious.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's always fun to see the sense of humor or lack of. Holy crap, one of us got his ass kicked because he did that. But somebody else kissed him back, and it was so cute.
Well, and some of these people, I mean, they're in the same field. Some of them probably, even though they fight each other, are friends.
Probably.
I mean, so that's funny.
We find out that Lamora is thrown Theron for Shadow.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that part.
So, thrown Theron the language. Here's the thing that I don't know what's going on here, and I know you don't either. And I actually can't remember from my reading before, so...
So we're both in the dark?
Right. So, Locke I'm going to say he picked the name Lamora when he was, 5 or 6?
Well, that's what I was thinking. So he must have known that that's what it meant? Or did he just, pull that out of...
But he didn't know the language, unless he had forgotten it, or maybe one of his parents spoke it, and so he picked up little bits. Because he speaks it now as an adult.
Yeah.
But he learned it with the twins. Though that was Vadrin, so...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. So at some point he learned it. So maybe we just haven't found out that he already knew it or some of it. But for a 6-year-old, first of all, to know a language or bits of it, and then to choose a name so prescient for his future so quickly too.
Yeah,
So that just makes a lot of questions for me.
Yes, definitely. Because then you also think, did he pick that name because he knew what it meant, or did he pick that name because he had heard somebody else using that as a name?
Oh.
Maybe he didn't know what it meant, but maybe he had some sort of connection to that person that maybe was an adult.
Or, this seems unlikely, but, or as a child, someone called him that because he was so sneaky.
That also could be.
Could have been a parent or, a relative or a friend or something.
Well, and we've been told that he looks like he's from both, right?
Right. He could pass for Vadrin or Theron.
So maybe he has one Vadrin parent.
Oh, maybe.
And one, what is it?
Theron
parent. And maybe they each spoke their own languages and
maybe
a common language or something. And so, you know how, families that are bilingual, like you have Spanish-speaking parents and then children that speak English and Spanish. And they sort of mix the languages even in one sentence. So maybe it's something like that.
I kind of like the idea of someone calling him Lamora as a pet name.
Yes, that would be, yeah.
Adorable and sweet.
But so, what's his actual name? Where did this kid come from?
Well, and the Falconer says, but Locke, I could really do something with that by writing it or carving it into something, stitching the name into cloth.
So Falconer is saying that his name actually is Locke,
but
what he Lamora thinks. Is not right.
Right.
Or is not his given name.
But we don't know that's actually true. Yeah. The Falconer thinks that's true. I know you and I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what makes him think that.
Well, because a lot of people change their last name. I mean, it's like a stage name, almost.
I guess. I don't know. I'm assuming at some point an interlude is going to... Well, I don't know, because we'd have to have an interlude where people are talking about something even further back than the book started. So...
Or Locke could tell a memory.
That's true.
I mean, we learned about him seeing his mother die when he talked to Jean.
Yes, Barely.
Maybe we'll just have a bedroom scene with Locke and Sabbatha. He'll be confessing all
Oh
of
my
his
gosh.
history to her.
Sabbatha, come back!
Did we even get a mention of her? Oh, we did. We got one mention of her in this chapter.
Yeah, at the
That's
end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that she's been gone, didn't they say 4 years?
I was very confused about the wording
Okay.
for that. We'll talk more about that when we get to there.
Yeah.
Because, I had a lot of questions about that, too. The Falconer threatens Locke's friends, which seems to spur Locke on. Do you imagine that it's going to make him better plans just because it doesn't affect just him? Or more careful?
Maybe more careful. I think he is genuinely worried that his friends will be tortured also. Mm-hmm. And that he would rather be tortured if it would save them from it.
Mm-hmm. I really believed him about that.
Yes, definitely. Because they're his family. They're his brothers, and he, unlike Vikings, don't even get me started on Rollo right now. But, Locke really shows that he's going to put himself in front of them safety-wise. Mm-hmm. Like he feels an obligation to protect them.
He is their Garista. He seems to really take it seriously.
Yeah, but more than that. I mean, a real familial bond, for sure. And hopefully that means he will be smarter.
Right. That torture sounded terrible.
Oh, so sad.
Some of it sounded seizure-like.
Yeah.
But just, so bad. Just the pain inside. They could just immediately be started and stopped.
Yeah. And that makes Falconer scary. Mm-hmm. Because he was making no effort at all to make that happen.
Right. He seems to have quite a range.
Yeah.
Of capabilities.
I would really like some information about how they get to that point. Is it all learned? Is it you born with it? Is it you're born with it and you learn? I mean, is there training involved? Does it just get better as you get older?
I think some people must be born with it.
I don't know how it couldn't be that, at least partially. Just
because of how they described before how a wizard would pop up somewhere and they'd go threaten him. So you don't just pop up if it's just a learned ability. Mm-hmm. Someone would have to train you, so there would be some sort of tutor or school, something like that. But if people are just showing up with magic, it seems like they would have to be it'd have to be an innate trait.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Even if you needed to hone that craft.
Well, I mean, wizards and witches have to go to Hogwarts, even though they're born with it, so I get that.
I don't think the Falconer would be in anything but Slytherin. Pretty sure.
I think that's a pretty fair guess at this point. Yeah, he's definitely no Hufflepuff.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, and he has some telepathic abilities. This guy is all over the map with skills.
I know. That's what I wrote down was he is very powerful. He can do a lot of stuff. He's torturing him and talking inside his head.
Yeah.
And he's not even moving. He's just standing there. Like, what could he do if he actually tried? I mean, if he made any effort.
I always wonder when things seem so easy if someone is actually just pretending it's easy and being very careful about keeping a really measured, calm look on their face to make it seem like in Dresden Files. Harry Dresden does that sometimes. He tries to pretend like things aren't difficult, so people are more scared of him.
Make it seem more casual.
Right. Even though it's costing him a lot.
Yeah.
To make something happen.
Yeah, that could be.
Just because it's good for him, for them to be, for, scary vampires to be afraid of him.
Right.
I think he has more ability than he can actually keep up. So we get back down to the Last Mistake Tavern. Locke and Jean meet up. Locke is recovering from this horrible torture. Mm-hmm. Jean now wants to torture the Bondsmagi after this. Which, on one hand, I love Jean because he seems so teddy bear-like, but he's not.
Right.
I mean, he certainly has, a lot of sensitivity, but he will, he will mess you up. So.
Yeah.
And especially since he's so sensitive, I think that gives him an even softer spot for his friends.
Definitely.
That he could turn on someone who is working against them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I wondered about when they said that they wanted to get back at the Grey King once the Falconer is gone. They have a lot of money. What would happen if they hired their own Bondsmagi?
Okay, when they started talking about that, I thought the same thing. I was like, why don't they just hire the exact same guy to turn around and torture the Grey King? They could probably buy him out from under the Grey King anyway.
Probably.
What if they're just like, hey, here's an idea. Stop working for him. Come work for us.
Or if they hired a different one, is there some sort of rule where they won't fight against each other? Is it basically first come, first serve with your evil plot?
And also, you wouldn't want to get one that's not as good. So do they have, like, levels? Or...
Well, there definitely are levels.
But like...
on the wrist.
Like, is there, like, a book? You can, like, pick out your magician here.
A catalog or the yellow pages of
a catalog. I love
Bondsmagi. Oh my god. Locke's gonna go to the Gilded Lilies, which is a house of ill repute. Mm-hmm. Because it sounded like it's been 4 years. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing, that it was not clear, and how I read it probably 6 times trying to figure out exactly what they meant by 4 years.
Right.
Has it been 4 years since he slept with anyone but Sabbatha? Has it been 4 years since Sabbatha has been there? Has it been 4 years since he's visited a prostitute? Since he and Sabbatha got together and they just didn't sleep together since they broke up? I have no idea. It could have been any of these things. It was not clear at all.
That is true.
It probably doesn't matter. But I was dying to know. I need the gossip.
Yeah, I was thinking that it had been 4 years since Sabbatha left.
Okay.
And also that he hadn't been to see any women of the night.
Mm-hmm. It didn't seem like that long, though, because everyone's just talking about it, it seems like. It seems like it's the new news around town that Sabbatha and Locke aren't together.
I don't
know. It's hard to tell.
Maybe what you're saying is that maybe it's been 4 years since he visited this place because in the meantime he was with Sabbatha.
Right.
That makes sense also. So I don't know which one it is.
It's very mysterious.
It is. Why would they not just come out and say it?
I know. I wonder if it's one of those things where it seemed so clear to Lynch when he was writing.
Maybe.
That he didn't feel the need to add any further explanation.
Maybe.
But really it could mean so many things. Or he's just deliberately trying to trick us, which...
I think that's what he's doing.
I wouldn't be surprised at.
As usual, I feel like I could record myself saying this and play it every episode. I hope we get more Sabbatha later. I hope in an interlude we hear more about Sabbatha. I hope Sabbatha comes back and shows up in one of these chapters.
Well, we get one more tidbit about her. It seems like Sabbatha's a redhead.
Mm-hmm. And based on the interlude, she's the charmer.
That was a nice piece of information.
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So we know she's charming and she's a ginger. And that's all we know.
Is she Jessica Rabbit?
I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't imagine her... and obviously, I have nothing to go on besides this very small information we've gotten from her. But I don't imagine her as really busty. Or very, like, revealing. Like, wearing revealing things. I have nothing to base that on. Like, nothing. That's just what I imagine.
From what we've read so far, it makes me think that she is very versatile, just like the rest of them. So she could...
Sure, she could put on whatever and make it work.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about the Gilded Lilies, which is a great name for a whorehouse.
This whole book is just full of weird and interesting names.
I'm going to read one part that described it. Waterwheels churned outside the ornate house of the Gilded Lilies at the northern tip of the snare, driving belts and chains to operate many mechanisms of comfort. What the heck is it operating? There are these all I can think is some sort of weird bondage dungeon that needs water wheels to support it. But maybe it's love swings or I don't know, something.
Okay, when I hear water wheels, I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. I think of Wesley in The Princess Bride being tortured, being on that table, and it was run by a water wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm not crazy, right?
That's not what I thought of, but yeah.
So it sort of seems like it could run anything that electricity would run.
Okay.
Which I don't know specifically what they're using it for.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's
still
just
only
it's
can
power.
Think of BDSM stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's because you're a real perv, Nikki, obviously.
Welcome to the show, listeners.
Maybe it's doing their laundry, Nikki. You don't know. They probably have a lot of dirty sheets.
Got dirty something. Poor Felice. Can't seem to get Locke excited enough to...
Can't do her job.
Mm-hmm. Though he's still going to pay her, as he
should.
Her. Yes, he assures her, but she reminds him there's a room of armed guards that can certainly make that happen if he doesn't feel like it. It was really weird to think of Locke naked in a sexual situation.
I didn't like that.
It made me feel uncomfortable too.
Me too. I think it's because, or at least for me, because we knew him as a really young child too.
Maybe.
And it just feels wrong.
I'm not usually against sex scenes at all. Mm-hmm. Gotta love me some Outlander kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
This, it just felt very uncomfortable. Just talking about his naked stomach.
Yeah.
And the trail of hair and all that.
I felt pervy reading it.
I did.
And I don't usually.
Voyeuristic.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted him to put some clothes on.
Yeah. Can't he just be wearing one of the little silk kimonos? That would just be better.
Though if it were Dylan O'Brien, I probably wouldn't complain.
He could just wear a towel, like if he just got out of the shower.
Okay.
I'd be alright with that.
So even Felice knows about the breakup from the Sansa.
I know!
Of all people.
Locke is some gossip material, I guess.
Yeah. I can definitely picture the Sansa twins just gossiping about anything that they're allowed to talk about.
And also, in my mind, they are the twins that play Fred and George Weasley.
Oh my god, no!
They are. Because they're the only twins I know. Are there other famous twins that I should pick instead?
There are some. It's hard to find identical twins or some that look similar enough.
Yeah. A lot of times they just use the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that. I want actual twins.
Yeah. Sometimes they can pull it off. Well, Orphan Black pulls that off.
Oh my
so well.
Gosh, that show is so good. Okay, every time I see pictures from like press events, I'm always wondering where the rest of the actors are. And then I have to remind myself,
Tatiana.
It's just her. And I'm like, where's everybody else? Nope, just her. Man. They're very, very good at it. So that's true.
She is amazing.
She's so good.
With the exception of the Toni character.
Oh.
I'm going to say the facial hair just ruined it.
Yes, but I hated that. And I was
fine with her having a trans character, but that facial hair, oh my god, the makeup was so bad.
I don't think any of that was her. I think that was the people making the show. Yeah, she did the best she could. And I don't mind having a trans character either. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
It just wasn't very well done.
Yeah. It was unfortunate.
Yes. Because it could have been maybe better.
Well, yeah, and I'm pretty sure we're never going to see Toni again because it was so badly received.
I very much hope not.
I wish that they had done that better because it would have been nice to have a different sort of character there.
Yeah.
But so the Sansa twins, I imagine looking Italian or Greek.
Yes,
maybe?
I thought
the olive coloring. Mm-hmm. And I can't think of any twins. I have a hard enough time thinking of twins in the first place. But I can't think of any that seem to match that, the kind of ethnic background.
You know, it would be alright with me if they just got undiscovered people.
That's true.
Just find some new twins that are of that coloring. I think that would be, you know, super dark hair and the bigger noses. I'm alright with that.
It's not always bad when they have not just Orphan Black, but have you seen Dimension 404 yet?
No, I haven't. I just saw a little thing about it. It's on Hulu? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't know anything about it.
It's the same feeling as Black Mirror, where every episode has a different premise.
Okay.
And different characters. You don't have a recurring set of people throughout.
Okay.
Though there are little Easter eggs, I noticed.
Oh.
I noticed in one, Patton Oswalt was in the second episode, and he's wearing, I'm pretty sure this is what it was, he's wearing a shirt that has a picture of a character from some show.
Uh-huh.
And then in the next episode, they're talking about this cartoon called Time Rider with this evil villain. And I'm pretty sure that evil villain's face is what was on Patton Oswalt's shirt in that.
That's funny.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
I do too. Huh.
And the first episode of that had, I can't remember his name, but he plays Major in iZombie. Big, tall, hunky guy.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Like Captain America kind of a guy.
Yeah. Major Lillywhite, which is the perfect name.
God, Major Lillywhite.
He's in it, and he plays multiples of himself.
Oh.
So there are 5 of him, I think, in different looks.
That's all you ever even needed to say to me to get me to watch that show. I'm totally gonna go watch it now, but please continue.
Yeah, it's a fun show. It has people you'll recognize all over the place, too.
Awesome. Cool.
Joel McHale is in the first episode.
Oh, I love Joel McHale. I saw him in the airport one time. Did I tell you that?
No.
I did. I stalked him a little bit, but I didn't talk to him. It was in the Seattle airport, actually.
Okay.
I saw him coming out of the bathroom, and he walked past me, and I, like, did a double take. And I was like, and he looked at me, and I just, like, gave him the smile, like, I'm not gonna bug you, but I totally know who you are. And that was all.
He appreciated not getting bugged.
Oh, I would have probably just completely stumbled over my words and maybe even wet my pants if I actually tried to talk to him. I'm not very good at that kind of thing.
Oh, that's funny.
But I was pretty excited to see him. I don't see a lot of famous people. I mean, like, really, I can't think of any more besides him and concerts. So.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, I haven't seen him.
Oh, the episode with Patton Oswalt also has, I don't know her name either, but it's the oldest daughter from Modern Family.
Oh, her name's Haley, right, in the show?
Yes. Yeah. She's also in that.
Yeah, I can't remember what her name is. The actress's name is. But anyway.
Oh, and the third episode has the guy that plays Time Rider, the hero of the cartoon, was from Teen Wolf. I recognized his mouth. I couldn't figure out who he was, so I looked him up on IMDb.
What does he do? What does he play?
He was on Teen Wolf. It was one of Tyler's brothers or something. I'm not sure.
Oh.
He was on a very long time ago.
Oh, okay.
But definitely recognizable.
Boy, they got all kinds of different people on there, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm interested to see the rest of the episodes. I'm not sure how many are on.
And I would think that actors probably really like to do shows like that because it's not a big commitment if they're only in one episode. Right. But they get to do something different.
And really fun. The episodes are super fun.
Yeah, almost like being in a play.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to do it just for now, and then I go back to my regular stuff. I'm definitely going to try that. I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, it's a fun show. I recommend it.
Cool.
In our next episode, we're going to talk about the interlude called Brat Masterpieces. Rosanna, what was your category for your top 3 this week?
This week, it is the top 3 sarcastic quotes from Falconer.
Nice.
And in quotation marks, snarky. He had a lot of snarky stuff to say. I think all of my quotes actually came from just the time where he's in the apartment with Locke.
Okay.
He just had some really, really great lines. Number 1. My client is otherwise occupied. I speak for him, and I will bear your words to him, assuming you have anything worth hearing. Which is a great line. Number 2. This is ill news indeed. And here the Grey King was so certain Barsavi would interpret his daughter's murder as a friendly gesture. That one made me laugh out loud.
Oh, that is so sarcastic.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
And then number 3. I cannot tell you what a weight it is upon my conscience to learn that we might lose your gracious acceptance. He's like the king of snark, right?
That is straight out of Snape's mouth, that comment.
Yes, right yes. I just can't help but like him, even though I don't like him, I like him. He's just got good stuff.
Yeah. Do you have any predictions for what you think is going to happen later, based on what we've seen in this chapter?
No.
How Locke might get out of the situation, how he'll be in 2 places at once.
I really wish I did. I really don't know how he's going to take care of this. I just don't know. Maybe I just don't have a good enough imagination? Because I don't know how this is going to work.
Well, Scott Lynch is pretty good with the twists, as we have learned.
I just don't know how there is any way I could ever guess what he's going to do. Because, like, how is... I mean, do we really expect Barsavi not to recognize Locke?
That is a big one. That's a big question.
So here's the thing. So the Grey King is going to show up, and Barsavi's going to go, the Grey King kind of looks like Locke. And guess who's not here even though I told him to be? This is what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
And I think that Locke's pretty safe from violence from Barsavi. Whether he realizes who he is or not, he's going to try to kill him. Because of Falconer, he's going to be able to protect him. But still. And that's only if the Falconer decides he actually is going to protect him.
That's true.
And if the Grey King was not lying when he said he was going to protect him? What if he's sending Locke there so Barsavi will kill him? If Barsavi thinks he's the Grey King and he lets him kill him, then...
Yep.
So, right? I don't know. I just want him to go back to, like, swindling rich dons. This is so much more.
And we're placing a lot of faith in the Falconer to keep Locke safe if he chooses to.
Right. It's all up to him.
Which means that he can possibly control or kill or do something to a huge number of people.
Yeah. Including Jean, who's going to be there. And Bug is going to be there.
Oh.
I mean, everybody's in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I guess what we've seen is that anybody at any point in the last several chapters has been in danger. Because the Falconer's shown he can get to them whenever, however he wants. So...
They've only said that they're going to protect Locke, too.
Yeah.
Not everybody that's there.
And I wouldn't put it past Barsavi. If he realizes that it's Locke, he might turn on Jean, because Jean's going to be on his side.
He's going to have 100 people there, he said.
Yeah. Okay, here's a little prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're going to see a large display of magic.
Okay.
I don't know how it's going to work or who it's going to benefit, but I feel like if you're talking about 100 people versus one person, and then the Falconer is there, I think there's going to be a display of magic.
Well, I already know he can put multiple people basically to sleep.
Yeah.
At once.
Something like that's going to have to happen.
Yeah.
This is not just going to be like a nice little let's have tea and, sign a little contract and be on our way. That's not what's going to happen.
I was just wondering what Nazca's funeral might look like. And then I thought it'd be really nice if Nazca and Sabitha had been friends.
Yeah.
Two of the probably few women in this world.
Yeah, maybe they were.
I imagine they would have gotten along, even though we don't know anything about Sabitha yet.
And not even really that much about Nazca.
That's true.
But
I feel like we've gotten a lot about her personality, though.
Well, and I think if you're talking about one that was Locke's girlfriend, pretty much, and one that was good friends with Locke, there's a good chance that they got along.
Yeah. Girls' nights in the burrow. Now it's time for Cheek of the Week, where we talk about something we really like and want to share with you and each other. My Cheek of the Week is a Trudeau floral wine charm set. So, there are these little things, and it's not really relevant to Locke this week.
Mine's not even close, so don't even worry.
I was going to make some really terrible connection with the barrel Nazca was in and wine barrels, and I'd really rather not. So we're going to pretend like I never said that and just talk about lovely wine charms for parties. Oh, they're these little kind of plasticky, rubbery, I guess they're silicone, little flowers, and they go around the stem of a wine glass, and they hooked to themselves. The stem hooks to the petal. And they're all these different, there are 12 different flowers, and like a calla lily and a daisy and all these different things. And you get a whole set of them, and they're really nice to put on wine glasses when you have people over, or any sort of glasses that have a small spot like that, so people can keep track of their glasses and not mix them up with everyone else. I really like them. They're, I don't know, $12 or so. But I get them a lot for hostess gifts when I go to parties or host gifts.
Good idea.
Yeah, when people have little gatherings. I have some for myself as well, but I really like to spread them around because they're so cute. Rosanna, what's your Cheek of the Week?
My Cheek of the Week is kind of dorky and doesn't have anything to do with Lies of Locke Lamora. They're Amazon's Dash buttons.
Oh, okay. I've seen those before, but I haven't used them.
I have several of them, but the one that I'm most excited about on the most frequent occasions is the one for toilet paper.
Oh.
Which is super dorky. So there are several people that live in my house. We go through a lot of toilet paper, and it seems like I always forget to get toilet paper when I'm at the store. It's big, it's bulky, it's in the way, it's a pain in the neck. But if anybody in my house notices that we only have a couple of rolls left, you just go push the dash button, and 2 days later there's toilet paper on your front porch.
Nice.
And I cannot tell you how nice it is to just hit the button and then just know that we're not going to run out of toilet paper. And like have to call somebody while you're in the bathroom and say, can you bring me some napkins or something? I mean, it's just So, and is it just showing how lazy I am or how amazing technology is that
efficient.
I have this button that connects to Wi-Fi that orders toilet paper for me. And the thing about the Dash buttons, you have to pay for them. They're $4.99 each, but they take $4.99 off of your first order when you use the button.
Okay.
So you do have to pay for it up front, but then it ends up being free after you start making your orders.
That's good.
And like I said, I use the toilet paper one anytime we need toilet paper. I don't even buy it at the store anymore because then I don't have to remember. I don't have to carry it. And also, this is totally not the reason I get it, but if you're somebody that uses boxes a lot, like if you donate stuff, to the local thrift store, or if you box up books to take to the library, or if you send packages, or if you're moving, it always comes in this really good size Amazon heavy duty cardboard box.
Oh, nice.
So you could also recycle that.
Lovely.
But they also have buttons for toothpaste, garbage bags, laundry soap, batteries, coffee, pet food. So it's all these things that you're like, oh, I need to remember to get this. But you don't have to. You just hit the button and then 2 days later it shows up. It's just a really convenient option.
I might have to get one for some of that stuff.
It's really, and they have a ton of them. And it's just, and sometimes I'll say, because the girls love to push the button, which you push it and it like blinks, and then you get an email saying that it was ordered. And so I'll go into one of the girls' rooms and I'll say, we only have 2 rolls of toilet paper left. And they'll say, so? And I'll be like, you know what that means? Oh, it means I get to push the button. So, it's fun for that too.
Yeah.
That is my cheek of the week. I'm super excited about it every single week. Listeners, you can find all of our cheeks of the week, and you can send us your questions on our website, somethingcheekypodcast.com.
That's our episode. Please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at somecheek.
You can also check out our other podcasts, which we have referenced several times, where we talk about the TV series Vikings.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Dig-a-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.